Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown have arguably been the best duo in the East over the past few seasons. They made 4 conference finals, made the NBA Finals last year, and were both All-NBA performers and All-Stars this season. However, the Boston Celtics haven't been able to get over the hump, and committing $600 million to this duo could greatly hinder what the team can build around them. With Jaylen Brown being a pending 2024 free agent and eligible for a $280 million extension, and with Jayson being up for his supermax, do the Celtics really want to invest all that money for their star duo? Do they even think Jaylen is good enough to be that co-star that wins the Celtics a title? Or will they opt to trade Jaylen this offseason to free themselves of that problem and still receive pieces that could help them win now? These are the questions and scenarios that we have to tackle in this video, and as we'll get to a little bit later, this situation is way more complex than you think. But before we get to the video, be sure to leave a like on the video, as each like makes a tremendous difference for the channel, and be sure to sub to the channel for even more content like this. The idea of trading Jaylen Brown isn't new, as his name has been floated around in trade rumors for much of his career. Of course, there was the Kawhi Leonard saga of 2018, we had the Anthony Davis saga of 2019, and literally last season, the Celtics dangled Jaylen Brown in a potential trade for Kevin Durant. Jaylen Brown obviously didn't take it well that he could have been traded for Kevin Durant, and some would say that some of his interviews throughout the season display unhappiness in Boston. However, when you see his body of work and improvements in a Celtics uniform, can you blame him? Jaylen Brown morphed from a rookie that averaged a mere 7 points per game in limited minutes to averaging north of 20 points per game over his last 4 seasons. And this past season, he averaged a career high of 27 points per game, made All-NBA second team, and has a strong case to be called the best second option in the league. The problem is, the Celtics are just 1-3 in the 4 conference finals they've played in since 2018, and Jaylen underperforming in this one doesn't help his case. He averaged just 19-6-3 against the Miami Heat on 42% shooting, 16% from 3, and 67% from the line, while only getting there 3 times a game. Jaylen is a special player, and at just 26 years of age, keeping him means that you have a long future to compete with a 25-year-old Jayson Tatum. But if the Celtics don't think he's worth the $280 million extension, then they'll have to trade him, but only for a specific package. The Celtics are not dealing Brown for filler plus a million draft swaps because obviously they still want to compete, and also they aren't dealing him for a bundle of impactful role players. If you're trading Brown, a 26-year-old All-NBA performer, you have to think of receiving an all-star caliber player in return, a proven young talent and picks, or a highly touted prospect with picks. Concerning acquiring an all-star caliber player, many people pencil in Damian Lillard as an ideal pairing with Jayson Tatum. Dame has been an elite point guard and a top 10 player for years now, and just came off his best season as a pro, averaging 32 points, 7 assists and 5 rebounds on 46% from the field and 37% from 3 on 11 attempts a game. This would be a clear talent upgrade over Jaylen Brown. Just as importantly, you trade Jaylen out of the Eastern Conference, and you'd be getting one of the deadliest offensive players in today's game that's also a good playmaker and draws a ton of attention on the court, making life for others that much easier. Additionally, this would mean that the Celtics offense would jump from what was the second best last season to somehow even better. However, There are 3 huge reasons as to why Dame will not be a Boston Celtic. For one, Dame is so far down the loyalty rabbit hole that there's no way he'd ask out of Portland. Literally every season, it's the exact same story of Dame playing on a non-contender and him having yet another masterful season wasted. And rather than demanding a trade, Dame just reaffirms his desire to stay in Portland. Also, given the fact that he clowned Paul George for switching teams and running from the grind quote unquote, it would be extremely hypocritical for him to do the same. Additionally, the Blazers seem fully content on just keeping Dame and not fully rebuilding, and they won't trade Dame unless he asks them to, which, again, he won't. The next roadblock to a Dame trade is that the Celtics might not meet the Blazers' asking price. There's no universe where the Blazers will take Brown for Dame straight up, so the Celtics are going to have to be willing to part with Brown, picks, and 1 or 2 key role players, a price Boston probably isn't willing to pay. Lastly, a trade for Dame means that the Celtics would essentially be cutting their title window by a huge chunk since Brown is only 26 and Dame is about to be 33. On the surface, this would be worth it if Dame were a great playoff performer, but in actuality, he's been pretty shaky. He does have his moments like dropping 50 and sending OKC home, but as for the pitfalls, Dame shoots just 41% in his playoff career, averaged just 18 points per game on 35% shooting in 2018 when the Blazers got swept as the 3rd seed in the first round, and in the year they made the conference finals, Dame shot just 40% from the field and 32% from 3 after the first round. A change in scenery and playing on a true contender could change things for Dame in terms of his playoff fortunes, but that remains to be seen. On that note, the Celtics should stay clear of Bradley Beal. Beal and Dame are ironically in the same position in terms of not wanting to leave their respective teams. But in this case, not only is Jaylen Brown younger, but he's also the better player. In rumors, I've also seen names like Trae Young and Karl-Anthony Towns, but the Hawks would only trade for Brown in order to pair with Trae Young. And if you think Jaylen Brown is frustrating in the playoffs, then Cat is a whole new level of annoying. If the Celtics can't find an adequate all-star trade, then the next option would be to deal Jaylen for either a highly touted prospect and picks or a proven young talent and picks. For the former, the Celtics can obviously look to the Hornets and ironically the Blazers since they hold the number 2 and number 3 picks respectively. Scoot Henderson, in my opinion, is the no-brainer second best prospect in this entire class, and a trade with Portland means that you'd get Anthony Simons on top of other assets as well. Scoot is a hyper-athletic guard with a strong frame, nice ability to finish above the rim, and physical traits to absorb contact and be a sustainable guard in this league. The only problem with him at the moment is that, just like other athletic point guards that came before, he struggles with his outside shot. However, that can obviously improve, and he just only turned 19, meaning that he and Tatum have a tremendous long-term window in terms of winning a title. Last but certainly not least, the Celtics could just opt to resign Jaylen and give the team even more years to compete. This is far from the most exciting option, and having he and Tatum combined for more than $600 million on the books is far from ideal. However, this is still the best duo in the Eastern Conference, and they're only 26 and 25 respectively. They've had success before, they're always knocking on the door every year, and with improvement, the Celtics might finally raise banner 18. These are just my thoughts on the matter, so please let me know what you think the Boston Celtics should do in the comment section down below. Would you pay Jaylen Brown $280 million, or would you trade him? And if you would trade him, what would you trade him for? Be sure to let me know down below. Be sure to leave a like on the video as well, as each like makes a tremendous difference for the channel. and also be sure to sub for more content like this. Hope to see you all in the next one, and stay tuned.